Topic 7. Exchange rate adjustment and the balance of payment. Effects of exchange rate changes on costs and prices. Refer to the diagram. A price adjustment mechanism. At exchange rate $1 per RM, there is a deficit of RM 4 billion. Import equals RM 1 times 12 billion units equals RM 12 billion. Export equals RM 2 times 4 billion units equals RM 8 billion. After exchange rate devalue 20% to $1.20/RM. Total quantity demanded and quantity supplied for RM currency are the same, which are RM 9.9 billion. Import equals RM 0.9 times 11 billion units equals RM 9.9 billion. Export equals RM 1.8 times 5.5 billion units equals RM 9.9 billion. Terms of trade equals export price index divided by import price index times 100%. Terms of trade before adjustment equals 2/1 equals 2. Terms of trade after adjustment equals 1.8 over 0.9 equals 2. Thus, no change to terms of trade. Terms of trade remain the same. B. Income adjustment mechanism. Given marginal propensity to consume, MPC, is 0.75. Marginal propensity to import, MPM, is 0.15. And initial equilibrium output level of 3,600. Explain the effect of an increase of investment by 400 to trade balance. Assume that initial trade balance is 0. Given MPC equals 0.75, MPM equals 0.15, MPS equals 1 minus 0.75 equals 0.25, trade multiplier, K, equals 1 over 0.40 equals 2.5. Change in Y equals 400 times 2.5 equals 1000. Change in M equals 1000 times 0.15 equals 150. Change in trade balance equals change in X minus change in M equals negative 150. Those info or number can be illustrated in a graph. Please refer to the diagram. Elasticity approach to exchange rate adjustment. A Marshall-Lerner condition. The Marshall-Lerner condition indicates a stable foreign exchange market. If the sum of the price elasticities of the demand for imports, DM, and the demand for exports, DX, in absolute terms, is greater than 1. If less than 1, foreign exchange market is unstable. If equal to 1, a change in the exchange rate will leave the balance of payments unchanged. We have a stable foreign exchange market when a disturbance from the equilibrium exchange rate gives rise to automatic forces that push the exchange rate back toward the equilibrium level. A foreign exchange market is unstable if the supply curve is negatively sloped. A and E more elastic, flatter, than the demand curve of foreign exchange. B. The J-curve effect. A nation's trade balance may worsen soon after a devaluation or depreciation, before improving later. This is due to the tendency of the domestic currency price of imports to rise faster than export prices soon after the devaluation or depreciation, with quantities initially not changing very much. Over time, the quantity of exports rises, and the quantity of imports falls. Export prices catch up with import prices, so that the initial deterioration in the nation's trade balance is halted and then reversed. Economists have called this tendency of a nation's trade balance to first deteriorate, before improving as a result of a devaluation or depreciation in the nation's currency, as the J-curve effect. See currency pass-through. The increase in the domestic price of the imported commodity may be smaller than the amount of the depreciation even after lags. That is, the pass-through from depreciation to domestic prices may be less than complete. For example, a 10% depreciation in the nation's currency may result in a less than 10% increase in the domestic currency price of the imported commodity in the nation. The reason is that foreign firms, having struggled to successfully establish and increase their market share in the nation, may be very reluctant to risk losing it by a large increase in the price of its exports, and are usually willing to absorb at least some of the price increase that they could charge out of their profits. Example, a foreign firm may only increase the price of its export commodity by 4%, and accept a 6% reduction in its profits. When other nations' currency depreciates, and its currency appreciates, by 10% for fear of losing market share. That is, the pass-through is less than 1. The pass-through is usually higher in the long run than the short run, and higher for industrial goods than for other goods. Absorption approach to exchange rate adjustment. It can be represented in the following equation. Output Y equals C plus I plus export minus import. Assume A equals C plus I, which is the domestic absorption, and B equal net export or export minus import, which is the trade balance. Rearrange the equation, Y minus A equal B, or output minus domestic absorption equal trade balance. For trade balance, B, to improve due to depreciation/devaluation. 1. Y must rise, if not yet reach full employment. 2. A must fall, if reaches full employment. If economy at full employment, depreciation/devaluation can be effective only if domestic absorption, fall, either automatically or through contractionary fiscal and monetary policy.